Good afternoon, class. I'd like to take a moment to tell you guys about what I do for a living and an issue that's important to myself and my coworkers. I'm a wildland firefighter, and wildland firefighters work to prevent and extinguish wildland fires. So we put out forest fires. Um, Private and public lands are what we protect. Um, And the way things work, we end up protecting a lot of homes and a lot of people's outbuildings, barns, structures, and animals, and all sorts of crazy stuff. So the biggest tool that firefighters have, any kind of firefighter, a wildland firefighter or a structured firefighter, the biggest, most successful tool that we have is prevention. We spend a lot of money on it, and we really created a culture of informing people, smoke detectors and Smokey the Bear since 1944. Only you can prevent forest fires. You know these things. I can tell that most of you can hear them in the back of your head. Changing your smoke alarm batteries, all that stuff. Prevention is such an amazing tool, and it has been so effective for the fire service. We really have cut down on the numbers of wildland fires and structure fires. It's really been amazing. It's been so effective, in fact, that Alan Taylor from Penn State has been doing some modeling that suggests that since we've been so aggressive about wildland fire prevention, that the fires we have now are worse. So we have way less fires. We have significantly less fires now, but the fires are so much worse. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense if I said to you, well, if you drive your car slower and you get in an accident, you're going to get hurt more than if you were driving fast. That doesn't make any sense, right? Well, it kind of makes sense because you think of the forest is kind of like people, right? The forest creates garbage, a tree puts leaves on the ground, drops branches on the ground, and pine cones on the ground, and over time, all that garbage builds up on the forest floor. Now, 100 plus years ago, what happened was a fire would come through, and it would burn up all that garbage, and it would be gone. But the fire didn't have the gusto to get the trees, the big old growth trees on fire. So the fire would just burn up all the garbage, and go on, and it would leave a nice clean forest floor that new trees could grow in, and everything was great and clean. It was awesome, just like Mother Nature's maid. Well, we put Mother Nature's maid out of business, Smokey Bear and my friends. And so now what's happened is we have 100 years worth of garbage on the ground. It's a lot of garbage. So that garbage acts like gasoline. It's fuel. It's fuel on the ground. So you get a fire, and now the fire's off to the races in a big way. What happens is all that heat is able to actually get a tree on fire, and then the fire goes up the tree, and then it goes from the crown of the tree to the next tree, to the next tree, to the next tree. And then the next thing you know, you've got one of those wildfires that you see in California, where all the houses are right by the forest. The forest is on fire, and there's lots of airplanes, and it's totally crazy. And so that's where we are today because of fire prevention, they're telling us. So what do we do to turn back time? How do we get back to where we were? Some people have suggested that we just go out there and pick up all the garbage. You go out there with thousands and thousands of laborers, and you pick it all up and you grind it up, or you burn it up, or you do something with it, but you get it off the ground. Well, we know how the government doesn't like to spend money on that kind of stuff, so it seems unlikely that anybody's going to be in a hurry to pay for that. And it would take years, realistically. Even if we did fund it and pay for it, you'd have people tromping around the woods for years trying to burn all this stuff up, and there would be an ecological impact to that. What would that do to the environment, having thousands of people running around out there, pounding around on the ground trying to pick up every stick and leaf? It's not a really great solution. So some other people have suggested that you just let the wildfires burn. It'll take care of itself. And it's true, it will, but there's a problem, is because we've created such a flammable environment that when those fires go through, they kill everything. And they make it really hard for things to come back. And it just really sets things back. Eventually they'll come back, but it'll be years and years and years, decades really, and you won't have much of anything growing. So that's not a really good way to manage our forest. That's not us being good stewards. We can't just let everything burn up. So then some really crazy people have said, well, what if we set little fires on purpose? We take a couple of people, a few people, and we go out there and we take a section of land and we set it on fire on purpose. Well, that can be dangerous, but if you do it right, you do it in the middle of winter, you do it after it's been raining, you pick your time and you pick your locations very carefully, and you go through and you burn up all that garbage, you burn up all that timber litter that's on the ground. That would be far less expensive. It would remove all those excess fuels and it would return the forest back to its state of before all this fire prevention. So it's an interesting suggestion. I think that it's one that merits some research and some testing. And who knows, if it works, maybe Smokey the Bear will need a new slogan. So thanks for listening to me, and I hope you guys all have a great day.